Hello, this is John from Revit for Interior Designers. Today we're going to discuss a topic in Revit that is fairly complicated for most beginners. The act of modifying or customizing railings in Revit. So what I'll do today is I'll give you 5 steps that you can use to customize your railings in your projects. Let's take a look. Today we're going to talk about how to create this wall-mounted handrail. As you notice, the handrail extends beyond the bottommost riser here, and it has brackets every so often. And at the very top here, the handrail also curls back towards the wall, again extending beyond the last riser here at the very top. So how do I accomplish this in Revit? Let me close this file. Here's a brand new file. I'll start this from scratch. Let's go to Plan View and create a quick assembled type here. Assembled stair type stair using the 7-inch max riser 11-inch tread. And I'd like to reach the second floor while on the first floor, so I'm going to expose the second floor in my drawing here by simply, I'm going to cancel this out first. I'll simply go into my properties and under underlay, show the area between the first and second level looking up, which happens to be the underside of the second floor. So when I hit apply, I have that line right there, which represents, as you see in 3D, the edge of the second floor. Makes my job a lot easier. So let's zoom in here and plan. We'll go to the Architecture tab, Stair, and I will draw a straight run stair. Again, using the 7-inch max type. I will start it anywhere on the screen. And as I pull my cursor to the very end, it tells me I need 18 risers. So let's go half and half. Let's go up 9. Click, stop, drag my mouse a little beyond to create a landing. Let's call it 3 feet there. Click, continue the path, and end it when it reaches 0 remaining at the bottom there. And accept this. Hit OK. I'll then quickly align this with the wall. So I'll type AL. Here's the wall. Here's the edge. Here's the edge of the floor. Here's the edge of the stair. Obviously, what we just created can be accomplished much quicker and easier using the options bar. As you create a stair, you can here create it along the exterior support on the left side. The left being what you see as you ascend the stair from bottom to top. Left side would be the edge of this wall here. I could have picked that. But let's cancel that out. I've already built a stair using an alternative method. Let's go back to 3D. Okay, let's begin here. I've got the stair currently aligned with the wall. And I will select this outermost handrail and delete it. And I will focus on this handrail currently that's closest to the wall and turn it into the wall-mounted style. Now the trick here is to choose one of the guardrail styles. If I click on this handrail, notice here Railing Family has a handrail rectangular. I'm going to change that to the guardrail pipe style. You'll notice here, as I like to take a little closer look, I've got both a guardrail here that's at 42 inches above the tread, and here choose tab right there, click. That member is the actual handrail, that handrail there. So in order to transform this handrail into a wall-mounted style, I need to remove both the top rail here of the guardrail, that's called a top rail there, these vertical members, and all these horizontal members here. Hit tab if you want to select them. Tab, those members there. They all need to be removed with only the handrail here remaining. So let's do that. Let's select this guardrail. Go edit type. Let's duplicate it because it's going to be customized. So let's call this John's wall mounted handrail. And in this new style I've created, I need to remove both the vertical and horizontal members here, plus that top rail. And those options are located here under the properties. Rail structure are the horizontal members. Hit edit. These are all the horizontal members here, from the topmost to the bottommost member here, and all their spacing. Remove them all. Select one, delete, and they're all gone. Hit apply, hit OK. You've now removed these horizontal members. To verify that, you can hit OK to leave this menu, and you'll see the change happen currently on the screen for my new style called the John's wall-mounted handrail. Fair enough? Let's return back to this option, edit type again, and get rid of the verticals. Baluster placements. Verticals are called balusters. The balusters are located here. There are 3 located at the bottom, and then this one here. This is called the main pattern. These are called the sort of the start, end, and corner posts. The very first post here, vertical member, is called the start post. The very last one at the very top of the stairs is called the end post. And anytime you go to a corner condition, where I turn maybe a right angle, or I go from a riser to a landing, they place a corner post there. So these will change the style of these members here. And in my case, I don't need any of them. So I'm going to remove every last one of these objects. The main patterns are the ones in between the start, corner, and end. If it's not one of these members, it's a main pattern. Let's remove those. Hit apply, hit OK. And again, to confirm, you can hit apply, and there they disappear. The last member that needs to be removed is this top rail here. Here on the properties, there's top rail, that member, and handrail, which is this member here, 36 inches above the tread, which is the object I'm trying to manipulate and have it turn into the wall with brackets. So this topmost member is not required. I'll simply use the checkbox here which says use top rail. I'll turn off that parameter, hit apply, it disappears. Hit OK for a second. This is where I'm at. A handrail currently that floats in the air, 36 inches above the top of this riser, or all the risers rather, and it needs to curl into the wall and contain brackets. So how do we do that? One more time, click on the handrail. I'm sorry, this is actually used to be a guardrail. Click on this object, hit edit type, and this guardrail has a handrail here called circular 1.5 inches. Now, this is the tricky part. This is a family. This is the railing system family. And it has a design type called John's wall-mounted handrail. But within that type of handrail, here, there is a handrail family. So if I choose this option here, this launches the top properties for another family. This is now the handrail type family. It has types. It has these types here. Notice one of the types is called pipe wall mounted. That family resides inside of this family, accessible from that button there. Therefore, this is a family inside of this family. Typically, this is a clue in blue here of the name of the family. This is the handrail type. This is the handrail family with a type of handrail. Another idea, another method of accessing this and changing it is simply to avoid this altogether, because this does tend to confuse people. So let's add a new option here. Again, this menu. Let's add a new option here where I customize this pipe wall mounted with my own settings. So I want to add a new style. So rather than doing it here, you very well could, but let's look at an alternative method. Let's scroll down here through my families and look for a handrail family here. Here's railings, and here's handrails. So this is the family called railings. This is the type of railings, and there's 3 types that we saw on the list a second ago. This is the option here I'm trying to manipulate. I will customize it. Double click. Anytime you change in these settings, you should duplicate this and make it your own, because this is the out-of-the-box type of wall-mounted design that Revit has. So let's duplicate it. You can do that by right-clicking on this name. Do that. Let's right-click and duplicate it here, or you can simply double-click and duplicate it here. But the fact of the matter is, I want John's wall-mounted handrail. It's my custom name for this wall-mounted handrail type. Here I can give it a material. So if I click on that little menu, this launches the materials library. For the sake of argument, I'll just double click here and just choose that quickly as a material. And here the extension is how far this railing will hyperextend beyond the very first or the very last riser. And that's pretty quick and easy. I can simply extend it a foot at the bottom and a foot at the top. Additionally, the bottommost railing can extend that foot plus a little checkbox here, the depth of a tread. So in this case, 1 foot plus 11 inches, 1 foot 11, which used to be code. So if those code requirements are still in effect in your area, feel free to check that box. And this member will extend out and beyond this edge by 1 foot 11 in this case. And the style I'd like to deploy is the wall style. That'll have the handrail extend out and then it'll curl toward the wall. Floor will have the handrail come out and dive down into the floor directly. And post will come out horizontally, become a vertical member, and curl back toward the very last post, which we don't have any longer. Feel free to experiment with those. But in this case, I will simply choose the wall style. At the very top and bottom, this controls the top or the end of the stair. This controls the beginning or the bottom of the stair. They're both wall styles. They'll curl toward the wall. Now, if I did this work, I'm simply recording these settings into my wall-mounted handrail style. Hit OK. And lo and behold, I've got a new type of handrail type here with that name. So I can return back to this family here, and I'll find this option available in its menu. Click on this, edit type, and notice here where I used to have simply circular 1.5. When I go to this menu here, which launches this family and these options, I will now see a brand new option. This option here. So these options here are populated by the handrail menu here under families, railing, handrail type. These options are these options. So whether you do this work here using duplicate, whether you do it here under the families, it's the same exact thing. So I will choose my design called John's Wall Mounted Handrail, which already has these settings I simply recorded a second ago. And by doing that, I hit OK. It's now been pushed into my wall mounted handrail. And again, these are called, I use the same name, but don't be confused. This is simply just the handrail, and this is actually the entire railing. I hit apply, hit OK, and lo and behold, I now have the railing here hyperextending beyond the end of the riser by a foot plus a tread, 1 foot 11, and it turns toward the wall. This has brackets. The brackets march up the stair, and lo and behold, the very top is doing the exact same thing. In shaded view, you can see that is also the wood material applied to that railing design. Double click on level 1 to look at the plan view, and you'll notice one last thing. The railing actually misses the wall. If you click on the railing by itself, you'll notice here that offset from the path says a foot. So somehow there's a relationship between the stair and the actual railing itself, and that original setting here has been pushed back by an inch. Notice that if I make this 0, that seems to be the original alignment it expects. It expects the edge of the railing to be equal to the edge of the stair here. This member here is the riser. This is the edge of the stair. The stairs run. And that's where 0 is, offset from the path. The path is the edge of the stair, not the structure, not the stringer here. So this is typically 2 inches, so I can push this back another 2 inches by simply selecting it and choosing here -2 inches. And lo and behold, it pushes itself back 2 inches. I then go to 3D, and I've got a wall-mounted handrail. And that is the end of that.